Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Yo, I just woke up, guys. What is going on? They caught him. I literally just woke up. That heat source was him. I knew it. All right, I've got the press conference waiting. So hold on a second. I just made coffee. I started the live, started coffee. And that's where we're at right now. I freaking knew he was in that. Dang it. I had a second thought after we ended the live. Oh, is there pictures all over Twitter? I knew, after we ended the live and I was like, you know what? Screw it. Like, they're probably not going to make a move till morning. And then I laid down and I saw Agenda Free TV. I don't know if you guys ever watched Steve on Agenda Free TV, but I like him. And I turned it on and he was like, we're in it for the long haul. We're in it for the long haul. And he had the freaking scanner and the air thing. And I was like, oh man, maybe I should have stayed in it for the long haul. They pose in a picture? What? Okay, oh, you got go into Twitter right now, guys. Bear with me. I'm a little slow, but I got to close this out with you guys, right? Why am I logged out of everything? Okay, let's see. What the? Why is this? Because I was talking about coffee. Look at the ad I got. Heart surgeon begs Americans stop putting this in your coffee. See what I mean? They changed it from 9 to... Where do I go? PA State Police? They also got the homeowner's gun back? I don't see nothing. Did Nick see it? No, I'm looking for... You said they had pictures? Or was somebody joking? Oh my God. I was the first to hear it. Oh, here it is.
In custody.
We believe this is Danelo.
Yeah.
I mean, we have not had this confirmed, but there's been a heavy presence, as you see around him. He's in handcuffs. They wiped off his face. It is clean shaven. And from the latest images that we have of Danelo, he did shave off his beard. But you can see he still has long hair and it's still, dangling in his face there. But he has been in handcuffs. And it looked as if he was in an area where there was a lot of firewood.
So they could... Was that his unattended campfire, guys?
Location, and now you can see they have the different vehicles where they're probably going to put him into a vehicle.
Yeah, when we were in the commercial break, you're right. He was standing in a big mound of like a cord after cord of firewood. Because the initial report, we said that he was found on Bridge Street in Phoenixville. But this does not look like the main drag of Phoenixville, obviously.
No, that's his nasty, greasy hair.
Drag of Bridge Street. But He does look different.
Just based on my observations, her hair was very
Than
greasy.
remember the video from the Ring camera where he's got that green hoodie on? He looks totally different there.
Whoa. Is that blood? I mean, I don't really care if he's injured. I'm kind of glad that they got him alive. Oh my God. Meanwhile, Brian Enton's in Idaho. with a little Chinese car. The fuck is going on in Idaho? I sleep for a few hours and everything is fucking weird. He's got a huge wound. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I can't believe I missed it. And this one says, I hope it's not him. I hope it was him. Look, Lizzie Bones coming in hot with the tricycle. Lizzie, this is the best. All right, here we go, guys. Let's watch. Look at this. All right, I'm going to go grab a cup of coffee. Let me fix my screen so we can watch this properly. I just can't believe I missed it. I am bummed, but I'm so glad. I'm actually glad he's alive because remember his mom said, oh, he'd be better off dead right now. Like, no, lady. Sorry, he's better off paying for his crimes. So I'm kind of glad he's alive because that's not what he wanted. But the question is, why didn't he off himself? Why didn't he off himself, I wonder? I know it's on Chester County, but that always sucks. I'll go there. Juiced to be safe. Chester County DA. Thank you, Potato. They don't have a link for it. Okay, it's going to be right here. And they're going to be airing it too. This is him being arrested or whatever. Because this is live right now. What you're seeing is not a repeat, it's live. I think. Good morning, Vince. Yeah, they go live and they best have good signal this time because every time their signal's souped. All right, I'm going to grab a cup of coffee. BRB. BRB. Good morning, everyone. We missed the capture, or if you were sleeping, you missed the capture. I think you've got a Ouija board down your pants. You're going to pull that out. Yep, and I was just snoozing away. Candy, 1 month. Thank you for your support. We're just waiting for them to go live. Here, let me move this. Summer Lou is on the doggy cam this morning. They usually start right on time, so. Thank you so much, Melissa B. I appreciate you. 20 months. Holy smokers. Thank you so much. I know I haven't even looked at my phone. So it just happened at 8:15 this morning. Oh man. Cuz I woke up and went back to sleep. I know you got to wonder if they discussed how he hid and what he did and well, at least he didn't kill anybody. Where's Emily? 7:15 my time was when. Crazy. Cuz I went to bed at like 3. You started calling when it happened? Oh my goodness. Well, I woke up for some reason. Pretty foggy there today. It still hasn't started though. You heard it over the scanner on T-Rev? He was going hard all night, wasn't he? Did he ever like go off live? Holy crap. He was a beast. Apparently they got the gun back, is what they said. Oh wow. He was in a shed at that John Deere at Little's. At Little's. Are they following him on the expressway or something? He was in a shed. Where'd you send it to, Jammers? You were calling me too? Oh my God, everybody was trying to reach me that he was caught. Chad, Chad, did you try to call? Oh, they caught the guy and I missed it. Hold on, you guys. I'll be right back. Thanks so much, Melissa. Um, it still hasn't started yet, guys. Philadelphia Eagles sweatshirt. Bella. Wasn't someone saying something about the Patriots last night too? Okay, I'm back. I'm back, Jack. You guys hope you got tick bites. Lacey Ann, you are so welcome. They're still not live though. See this stream right here, this USA Today, they're supposed to be showing the press conference too. What you're seeing right now is a live caravan taking him wherever the hell they're taking him. Do you guys think he's going with border control or I'm sitting here waiting for all this to begin. Let me check my email cuz Jammer sent some stuff. Those are oh my god. Whoa, Widge. It looks ugh. Oh my word. That's a close up. Those is braids. But there were two braids hanging in front of his face. How do we get an update when he goes back? I don't know. I don't ever want to hear about this guy again. I want to know he's gone, and I never want to hear about him again. Where is he going then? He braided his hair so he could probably put it back in a hat and hide it. I wonder what his mom thinks of that picture. Her poor baby. Let's see if Fox 29 is live. Fox is already on the set here, so okay. So maybe they caught him in a shed at Little's John Deere place. So while we wait for this to begin, let me show you guys because I know exactly where it's at because we were there, not there, but so here's Little's right here. This is the area. This is the area they were searching last night. You see, Little's has that red pin. That's where we were watching last night. Was this whole area, this whole little section, and then if you zoom in, this is Little's. So there's your outbuildings at Little's. There's your outbuildings at Little's right there. Maybe the sister braided his hair. Maybe the sister braided his hair. How did he braid the back? That's a really good question. So, yep, he was caught at Little's in an outbuilding here. And that was the area they had surrounded last night. But you can see from Fox that it's pixelated already. All right, so let's watch him being transferred. Little's is a John Deere dealership right there. And he was in a shed. Look at all the people watching, guys. Look at all the people watching. Look at that lady with her arms in the air. She's like, woo, go. Look at her clapping. Look at all these people. This community is so happy this morning. This community is so happy this morning. And I am so happy for that community that they do not have to worry about this one more day. Not one more day. It's over. Deborah's family can breathe. Her children can breathe. Hey, Ed Gain. Are we going to see them get him out? Oh my God. There he is. Oh shit. You guys can't see it. Well, they better keep a close eye on Houdini. That girl, they caught him. They caught him. Look, he's got no pants on. Look at that lady standing there too. And he's got his freaking calves are huge. Huge. Muscular. He's got black boots. Oh my God, his Dora boots. I can't. Do you guys think someone braided that for him? Little fucking Diego ass. Diego looking ass. Willowdale Children's Academy. Maybe they shut that down and secured it. I don't know. Good morning to Facebook and YouTube this morning. Thank you for joining. We're about to start here. Oh, they've got boards and everything. Look at. Oh yeah, they got their trophy. They're going to do this right. They're going to do this right. Did the dog make him bleed? I hope so. So did the dog grab him by his hair? Because remember, I was like, I hope they swing him around by his hair. Karen Jacobs on Facebook, thank you for the stars. That is so nice of you. Thank you. I want to see the video of the dog swinging him around by his braids. And Loki got sick looking for this guy, so hopefully they let Loki have a piece of him. Because Loki hopefully recovered to the point where Loki could have a piece. Loki deserved a piece after that. This son of a bitch made Loki sick. Remember that? It made Loki sick. It's like they're ready to begin. I'm going to go ahead and mute. I'm going to go watch this on my TV.
Good morning. I'm pleased to be able to report that thanks to the extraordinary work of law enforcement officials from here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, our local leaders here in Chester County, and from our federal partners all across this nation, shortly after 8 a.m., our suspect was captured. I want to say, first and foremost, thank God there were no injuries to law enforcement or to the public. We obviously became deeply concerned after the suspect was able to steal a weapon. He was apprehended this morning with no shots fired. I want to say thank you to the dedicated law enforcement professionals from every level who each and every day go out of their homes, leave their families, leave their loved ones to keep us safe. The public, over the last 13 days, has had a chance to see what excellence in law enforcement means, what true dedicated professionalism is all about. I couldn't be more proud to be standing up here today with these professionals from every level. And while they did extraordinary work, we had a tremendous assist from the public here in Chester County. I want to say thank you to the public for their vigilance. Thank you for the constructive tips that they shared. Thank you for remaining on guard. We recognize this has been a concerning and trying time for each and every one of you in the region. And we want to thank you for your support of law enforcement and for your support of this effort that led to this capture today. I hope the good people of Pennsylvania, and indeed the folks all across this nation, got a chance to see how government is supposed to work, how law enforcement is supposed to work, where we all come together, where we focus on the mission. And while the women and men up here behind me may wear different uniforms and different badges, we were here with common purpose, and that was to apprehend this suspect and keep people safe. Leading this effort has been the Pennsylvania State Police. And I know I'm going to get booed by some of the folks behind me for saying this. I believe they are the finest law enforcement agency in the United States of America, and I could not be more proud to be the governor of this Commonwealth and to have the chance to serve in public service alongside these great leaders in the Pennsylvania State Police. Leading the effort for us is Colonel Christopher Paris, who did yeoman's work overseeing this operation together with Lieutenant Colonel Bivens. All Pennsylvanians, gentlemen, are indebted to you for your bravery, for your courage, and for your tremendous leadership. And with that, it's my honor to bring up the Colonel of the Pennsylvania State Police, Colonel Christopher Paris.
Thank you, Governor. I would like to make a few brief comments. I'd like to dedicate those comments to the victims of Cavalcante and their families. At the end of the day, all of the people behind me here work for justice and for the victims. A close second to the people of Chester County. We appreciate your support, and we appreciate the dedication that you have shown us and the generosity that you have shown us. We are in your debt. This was a major operation. We know that it has affected your lives, and we're very much appreciative of that support. I'd like to thank the governor and his support of us, not only with his physical presence, but his work in Harrisburg on a daily basis. I'd like to thank the Border Patrol, Customs, the FBI, the Marshals, the ATF, our federal partners, the Chester County District Attorney, Deb Ryan, and her Chief County Detective, Dave Sassa. Our municipal partners, too numerous to mention here, in Chester, Montgomery, Delaware, and Bucks counties. We could not have done this without everyone. I would like to thank, from the bottom of our hearts, the members of the Pomar Lynn Fire Company. I know the media has been in and out of here. The hospitality that they have shown us, the logistics that you need to bring to bear in an operation like this, we would have been hard-pressed to do that without them being good hosts to us. Lastly, but certainly not least in any way, shape, or form, to the women and men of the Pennsylvania State Police, thank you. Thank you for your hard work and your diligence. This is my third manhunt with Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens. It's not lost on me that it was 9 years to the day yesterday for the Blooming Grove ambush. And in all of those operational cycles, there is no person who enjoys more of my trust and confidence. He was tasked with standing this operation up. My confidence in him is marrow deep. He is the consummate professional, and I would now like to turn it over to Lieutenant Colonel Bivens to give you the operational rundown of the capture of Cavalcante. Lieutenant Colonel Bivens.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Colonel. It is a true pleasure to stand here this morning and talk to all of you about bringing this manhunt to a successful conclusion and without getting anyone else hurt, most importantly. None of this would be possible without the support of this team represented by members of various agencies standing with us up here, by others standing throughout this fire hall, and by still more who are out there in the field. So let me give you a few details about how this unfolded. As you know, we have been working most recently in a perimeter established in northern Chester County. Last night, shortly after midnight, a series of events started to unfold. First, we had a burglar alarm at a residence near Prizer Road within the perimeter. Our people investigated that, did not find Cavalcante there or anyone else, but it started to bring some of our people into that area. We had been searching an area not far from there already with some tactical teams that night. There was an aircraft overhead utilizing FLIR technology, and close to 1 a.m. picked up a heat signal that they began to track. It was west of PA 100 and north of Prizer Road. Tactical teams began to converge on that location where the heat source was moving. Unfortunately, we had a weather system that also came in, and we had lightning that was flashing all around, and it caused the aircraft to have to depart the area. Tactical teams made a decision to secure that area, that smaller area, as best they could, and hold it through the storm and until we could bring additional resources in and bring aircraft back overhead to ensure that we did not have an issue with an escape. That resumed early this morning, and shortly after 8 a.m., tactical teams converged on the area where the heat source was. They were able to move in very quietly. They had the element of surprise. Cavalcante did not realize he was surrounded until that had occurred. That did not stop him from trying to escape. He began to crawl through thick underbrush, taking his rifle with him as he went. One of the Customs and Border Control teams, BORTAC, had a dog with them. They released the dog. Some of our PSP CERT members were also there, had him surrounded. The dog subdued him, and team members from both of those teams immediately moved in. He continued to resist, but was forcibly taken into custody. No one was injured as a result of that. Excuse me. He did sustain a minor bite wound. We had medical personnel at the scene, and they took a look at that. Cavalcante was, as I said, taken into custody. He was transported to our Avondale station for further processing and interview, and he will ultimately be transferred to a state correctional institute where he will be housed and begin to serve his life sentence. In just a few minutes, I'll open this up to some questions, but before I do that, I want to turn this over to one of our very close partners, District Attorney Deb Ryan. I know she would like to say a few words, and again, then we'll be happy to take your questions following that. Deb.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Bivens. Today is a great day here in Chester County. Our nightmare is finally over and the good guys won. We owe a debt of gratitude to all of the first responders for their tireless and dedicated efforts in bringing this fugitive to justice. They worked around the clock, and we are deeply grateful to all of them. Our community can finally regain its normalcy and breathe a collective sigh of relief. This would not have happened without the collaboration and efforts on behalf of a multitude of agencies. I need to thank the Governor, Colonel Paris, Lieutenant Colonel Bivens for his unflappable and dedicated leadership, the U.S. Marshals, the Chester County Detectives, the FBI, U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, the Department of Emergency Services, the Sheriff's Department, and every single person who went out into the field in the most horrendous conditions. We had weather problems, we had terrain problems, and a ton of obstacles that prevented our capture from occurring as expediently as we wanted. We have the best people in the business, and we never lost faith that this capture would occur. We knew that it was just a matter of time. The scope of this manhunt was extremely impressive. The brave men and women who went out there every single day are our heroes, and I am proud to be a part of this collective team of people who worked around the clock to bring this man to justice during this monumental challenge. They utilized every piece of advanced technology, dogs, drones, helicopters, every asset available was put out for this capture. I can't express our gratitude deep enough to all of them and to the community for their support. We received dozens and dozens of donations, well wishes, and kind support from everyone in the community, and we thank this firehouse for housing us. We know we disrupted their lives for a while. One of the first calls we made upon learning about this capture was to the Brandow family, who, as you can imagine, had been living in a complete nightmare. They are so grateful to the men and women who helped with this capture. They can now finally sleep again. I can't thank law enforcement enough for their efforts. Thank you.
Okay, with that, we will be happy to take your questions. Yes.
With the helicopter overboard, we saw the arrest taking place. There was some criticism about the photo op that was taken with the fugitive. Can you explain how that's actually a standard procedure, or what's the reasoning behind the photo op with the fugitive?
You know, I'm aware that there was a photo op that was taken out there. Those men and women worked amazingly hard through some very trying circumstances. They're proud of their work. I'm not bothered at all by the fact that they took a photograph with him in custody. Again, they're proud of their work. They kept the community safe. I say thanks to them and good job.
Sir, did he say anything in the moment that he was captured, and you released the name of the canine officer who bit him during his capture?
We will probably not be releasing the name. And in terms of anything that he said, we need to use an interpreter, and he has been taken back to the station, and at that point, we will attempt to interview him at the Avondale station.
Did he say anything upon capture? Anything at all?
I'm not aware of it. If he did, I don't have that information.
Lieutenant Colonel, your officers were authorized to use lethal force if he didn't actively surrender. Was the goal to always take him in alive?
That's always our first choice and preference. Again, that option is only to prevent the escape of a very dangerous individual. Had they not been able to contain him, that would have remained an option.
Who specifically made the arrest? Which organization?
It was a combination. It was a combined group of the Border Patrol and PSP.
At 1 o'clock captured. When he went into the van, he was stripped and had his tattoos photographed. Is that normal procedure?
Yes.
When the thermal imaging happened at 1 o'clock, was he in the same location when you found him?
Wait, I'm sorry. You'd ask first, man.
Was he asleep when you found him?
He was proned out. I've not been told that he was asleep. I'm told that he was proned out trying to hide and then began to crawl away.
Was it the same location when you got the thermal imaging at 1 and you found him at 8?
It was in that close proximity to that, yes.
What was
no one was assisting him at that point.
Sir, what was the agency that was flying the helicopter that first spotted the heat?
That was the DEA, and that was a fixed-wing aircraft.
Were you worried as law enforcement that you had to down the plane and there could be another chance for escape? I mean, that's obviously the plane had to land, but what kind of risk did you have to calculate with that?
Well, you know, as I've told you throughout this investigation, there are always things we have to contend with. Everything isn't scripted and doesn't go perfectly. And so it's just another challenge. Worried, I don't think, is the word that I would use. We simply had to adapt. And so we secured that inner perimeter while always keeping our outer perimeter secure, so that if he did manage to get out of that inner, we would box him in yet again.
How tough an adversary was he? He led some very high-profile, difficult manhunts. How tough an adversary was he compared to some of the others?
You know, I don't know that he was particularly skilled. He was desperate, and I've said that all along. You have an individual whose choice is go back to prison and spend the rest of your life in a place you don't want to be, or continue to try and evade capture. He chose the evade capture. He was in good shape, obviously able to climb, as you saw, to get out of prison. But ultimately, as I said all along, we had an amazing team assembled here, capabilities that are just very formidable. And I was confident all along that he would eventually be captured. And ultimately, this team, and I credit all of them, for bringing together their collective experience, the resources, and being able to apply that and capture him. It's never easy to find someone who doesn't want to be found in a very large area.
Sir, previously you said you were reserving comment on if anybody was helping him throughout the search. I know you said no one helped him this morning. Can you say now that he's in custody whether he received help these last 13 days?
There were people who were intent and intended to assist him. We had been successful. To the best of my knowledge, we had been successful in preventing that assistance from reaching him.
Does that include his sister?
Yes.
There had been some frustration, some criticism from the public as this was stretching on. Now that it's over, do you consider this anything other than a success?
No, it was absolutely a success. And I got to tell you, I think by and large the public stayed amazingly supportive. I had some third grade students stop by yesterday and drop off letters and notes of support for all of these responders. We put them out for them to see at briefing time and things. That's the kind of support we saw from this community. There will always be criticism. There will always be people who think they can do this job better, and they're entitled to that opinion. What I would tell you is, again, I put my faith in this group of experts, this group of seasoned law enforcement professionals, the dedicated men and women, not only of the Pennsylvania State Police, but of all of the other partner agencies who went out there every day. I'll put my money on them any day of the week, and I believe the community supported them and continues to.
Will he be charged with escape, and when will those charges be filed?
We'll be discussing with the district attorney what, if any, charges will be filed. But for right now, again, there is a commitment, and he is going to begin serving his life sentence at a state correctional institution.
When was his sister now?
She is in the deportation proceedings. That will proceed as had been initiated.
Do you know where Cavalcante got the Eagles?
I'm sorry?
Do you know where Cavalcante got the Eagles hoodie from?
I do not.
Other than the rifle, what did he have with him? Did he have anything else?
Just the clothing and things that he was wearing.
Did he
at the
attempt
time.
to shoot? Did he attempt to try to engage?
He did not have an opportunity to, no,
How
sir.
many officers were on the ground as you confirmed?
I don't have an exact number, but looking at the teams we were sending in there, in the immediate vicinity was probably 20 to 25.
And can you tell us more about what those 20 to 25 looked like? Like, did they have specific armor? What
Yes, they were tactical. They were a tactical team. You would expect, you know, camouflage, full armor, long rifles, that kind of thing.
Which agencies?
Customs and Border Patrol was their BORTAC team out of El Paso, and then Pennsylvania State Police CERT. It's our Special Emergency Response Team.
Once on the ground, they've now pinpointed him, right? They're
Yes.
on the ground and they're quietly moving into place. Length of time?
From that point, probably 5 minutes. It played out fairly quickly once they had identified him and moved in. He detected them at that point once they were already in position, and again, he started to crawl away, and it played out very quickly then.
Sir, what is your greatest lesson from this 14-day manhunt?
You know, I don't know that there's any single lesson. I will tell you that I learned something from all of these, and as I told you before, I bring that experience to the next one. And so I just go back to, it's all about the team. It's about assembling the right group of people, the right technology, the people with can-do attitudes who will stick with you through the investigation, and that's what we did. And it's worked well for us in the past, and I'm sure will work well for us in the future.
Colonel, said there were people intending to help. I just want to see if we can get a little more detail from you on that. You did mention, you did confirm the sister was intending to help. Who else might have been intending to help? I mean, can you give us any details?
And the reason I'm not going to talk about that again, as I mentioned, we will be discussing with the district attorney whether there will be any additional charges. I don't expect that there will be on that aspect, but we want to have that discussion before we disclose anything else. No, I think he stopped because his normal pattern was to travel in the late evening, early or overnight hours. Whether he got tired or whatever, normally he typically didn't travel then later at night, and he typically did not travel during the day unless we pushed him. And we did have several instances of that where he was pushed and had to move. But you know, he doesn't have night vision or anything like that, the type of technology that many of our operators had out there. And so traversing rugged terrain is difficult to do. I believe it was just easier for him to do in the late evening hours and late afternoon. I believe that's what caused it. It was a scalp wound, and they bleed pretty significantly. I'm told there was not any significant injury.
Did he have a phone?
Just one, ma'am. No, I mean, all along, you know, we asked people to secure as best they could. Unfortunately, he was still able to acquire some of those things. Again, those are just some of the challenges we deal with in an investigation like this. Our people rise to those challenges, and ultimately, again, he was successfully captured.
I know that you led the effort also in July earlier this year when that person escaped using bed sheets. It was a chocolate lab that ultimately led to his arrest, and now here we are again. You're talking about a canine moving in and basically disabling Cavalcante. Can you just kind of talk about the having canines and their use and how much of an asset they are when you're trying to navigate tough terrain and track down dangerous people?
Sure. I mean, in the case of Tucker, he was kind of a civilian. I would say we deputized, and brought him in. He's now an honorary member of PSP, but lab. But he was not involved in this. That was in Warren that this gentleman was referring to. Just, you know, I believe it's a Shepherd or a Belgian Malinois. Just 1 minute, if I can come back to this gentleman, I apologize. In any event, canines play a very important role, not only for tracking, but also for, just like in a circumstance like this, safely capturing someone. Far better that we're able to release a patrol dog like this and have them subdue the individual than have to use lethal force. And so, again, our preference is always to use other means. Canines play a very important role.
For those of us who aren't familiar with the area, can you tell us a little bit more about where he was? It appears he was in front of a commercial building. Was he hiding within that building, or he was?
He was in the wooded area, again, west of PA 100 there.
I'm sorry, west of?
PA 100.
Are you aware of how he was getting nourishment and, you know, liquids?
No, that'll all be part of the interview we'll attempt to do. Whether he'll talk to us or not, that's obviously entirely up to him. But that will be something that we'll be asking.
Sir, at this juncture, can you release where he worked in Chester County prior to his 2021 arrest for homicide?
Unfortunately, I don't have that the list of those locations. I know that he did a variety of jobs installing flooring, but I don't have the specific list of work locations.
How long will he be at the Avondale Barracks?
Long enough for us to process him, and however long an interview lasts with him. I don't expect it to be for a very extended period of time, and again, at that point, he'll be transported to an SCI.
Sir, was there any concern that he would team up with another small man to step inside of a trench coat, Little Rascal style?
No.
Can you give us more detail on the actual encounter with the dog? Did the dog tackle him, bite him?
You know, again, I didn't see this specific capture. What I would tell you is the way those dogs are trained is to simply go to the person. They will grab whatever is closest for them to grab, and then they are trained to detain that individual. They don't just keep biting and releasing or trying to cause additional injury. They simply grab onto and try and hold that person in place until officers can get there. So that's why they're never released, you know, at some great distance or unsupervised. There are officers close by who can then move in. The handler can immediately pull the dog back off of they give them a command, pull the dog back off, and then officers take over from there. He did. I don't have the name right now.
Was there any body cam footage or doggy cam footage in the situation of him getting the rest of anything happening?
Not that I'm aware of.
And
So.
then secondly, Border Patrol, are they here?
Yes.
Can we talk about the expertise of Border Patrol being here to make that arrest?
Do you want to?
What your experience played and how that made if you could step up?
Sure. Now, Border Patrol is trained in tracking and pursuing. From the time an agent comes on duty, assigned to the southwest border, they get lots of experience tracking and trailing people. And then with our technology and other resources that just aids in the searches like this one.
Different terrain than normally what you're working with, correct?
So Border Patrol is assigned to both the northern border and the southwest border. So we got training and experience in all types of terrain.
Tell us specifically what you did here. What did you do here to capture this man?
We assisted the federal, state, and local partners with our resources, whether performing observation at night, searches during the day, searches during night, and then obviously we had our tactical teams here.
Question for Governor Shapiro. Do you mind? Governor, yesterday you described just now 24 hours ago right here that you were calm and that your commanders over this operation were also calm. In hindsight, how did you balance the obvious pressures from outside that were forever saying, find him yesterday?
Look, we had a job to do, and that was to capture Cavalcante. And I had the absolute best team working on this. I'm proud to be associated with the Pennsylvania State Police and all the law enforcement leaders who were behind me, federal, state, and local. We knew we had the best, and we knew, as Colonel Bivens said multiple times, he was desperate and it was just a matter of time. I couldn't be more proud of them. And I want to come back to two questions over here that are related to Mr. Holden's question. One was about the assets that we deployed beyond the people. I hope that the public takes great pride in the technology, in the canines, and in all of the assets that were brought to bear here. We ask a lot of the public through their tax dollars to support the police, to support law enforcement at every level. And they got a front row seat here in Chester County and across Pennsylvania to see the extraordinary work not only these individuals do, but the great technology we're able to bring to bear to ultimately capture dangerous suspects like this. The public should take great pride in that. And then to the gentleman's question there in the suit, folks, whoever had their Eagles hoodie stolen, if you could let us know, I'll do my best to get you one of those new Kelly Green ones, okay?
Governor, can I just ask you, two escapes, two different individuals from the same prison in the same year. What do you say to people who live in this area to see what is happening at the Chester County Prison, and what are you guys going to do moving forward to try and prevent this kind of thing from ever happening again?
Here in Pennsylvania, our system may be a little different from other states. We have state correctional institutions, and then we have county jails. In this case, the Chester County Jail is run by Chester County officials. They'll answer those questions as to what occurred and what changes are ultimately going to be made. Certainly, the State Department of Corrections will be here to assist in any reviews or in any other work that they need done to make sure that that facility is secured. They obviously have a lot of work to do there, and I'm confident under the leadership of Chairwoman Moskowitz and District Attorney Ryan and other leaders in the county, they'll get that done.
Is it estimated that the cost of the manhunt is about $1 million a day?
I can't, put a price tag on it. We'll do our best to make sure that whatever can be tallied up is and is shared with the public. At the state level, I can't speak for our local or federal partners.
Governor, you mentioned the pattern of what time of day he would travel. Were there any other patterns that you picked up on that were key in tracking him, containing him, and then ultimately catching him?
There were a number of things that that we picked up on, and he didn't follow the same pattern every single time. Seemed to like to travel via creek beds. He liked other paths of less resistance, wood lines, power lines, gas lines, that type of thing. And that's actually fairly normal. Nobody wants to have to force their way through very heavy underbrush and things. And again, I mentioned the time of day, but all of that combined with some outstanding work and technology is really what brought this to a successful conclusion.
Many people in Chester County are grateful for your efforts. I know you mentioned on Friday you were asked about containment and capture. Ultimately, that tactic was successful. Anyone that you would like to thank at this time? I know Landhope donated breakfast yesterday. Wawa has been big help with lunch. Any small businesses you'd like to thank? And then again, the people of Chester County.
I will tell you that we have been compiling a list, and I don't want to stand here right now because I will absolutely miss many. Some of those that you mentioned have been outstanding supporters of us, and I thank them. We will publish a list of all who helped us out because we are very, very appreciative. That level of support is really one of the things that allows our people to focus on the task at hand and to try and be successful even quicker than we might otherwise have to be. When I gave you all a tour of the facility in here, I talked a lot about logistics and the support that's required to field a team of 3, 4, 5 or more hundred law enforcement officers out there. It takes a lot to put it out there, and so the help of all of those folks, the help of the average person who stopped by and dropped off a case of water was very much appreciated, not only for the case of water, but also just for the kind thoughts of, and words of support that they always included when they dropped that off.
You contained and captured, so that tactic was the way to go.
Yes, as I said, we always take a multifaceted approach, and so depending on the circumstances, there's always a contingency, and we're always prepared to move in whatever direction we need to. I'm sorry?
Were officers wearing any body cameras and all that?
I don't believe any officers on the tactical teams had them on.
What type of aircraft involved here with the heat-seeking equipment? Is that a DEA aircraft? Was it fixed-wing drone helicopter? Also, the arrest happened in South Covington Township?
It was a DEA fixed-wing aircraft. I believe that's South Covington. I would have to look at a map. We were operating in several townships there, but again, it was north of Prizer and west of PA 100.
Sir, where were you when this all happened? And do you have a personal feeling of satisfaction for 14 days of very long, hard work? How does this feel for you this morning?
I was here in the command post when the capture occurred, and yes, I'm very happy that this occurred and that no one was injured. It brought a new level of danger for all of our people out here in the field when we knew that he obtained a firearm. And so for me, the biggest sense of relief is that no one in the community was harmed and no law enforcement officer was harmed either. So that's the win.
Sir, the whole time, or did he set up a base camp?
No, I believe he was more mobile the entire time.
Sir, what prison is he being transported to?
We're not releasing that, but it is going to be a state correctional facility, and once he is secure there, I believe they will release where he is being housed.
Lieutenant Colonel Bivens, you said that multiple people attempted to help him. Did he have any means of communication to reach out to those people and coordinate with them as to where he was?
He did not at the time that we captured him. Yes, ma'am. Well, as I addressed a few minutes ago, yes, he had the firearm with him. Yes, he was a threat. He did not have an opportunity. I believe he was taken by surprise, and I believe the canine played a large role in him not being able to utilize that firearm. What I would tell you is, again, that it is our last choice, our last preference to use lethal force. And so while there were other options, the team did the responsible thing, did what they're trained and what we expect, and they used other options. And again, lethal force is always the last option.
He's going in for questioning. What kinds of information are you going to be trying to get from him? Like what kinds of questions will be asked?
We have the criminal investigators that have been involved in this, everything from the escape up through the time that that he has been on the run. I'm sure all of that will be included in their list of questions. Whether he'll choose to talk, I have no idea, and that will be his choice.
Can you assure and guarantee the public that this man will not escape again, because clearly he has the ability to do that? Can you say that now?
I can assure you he will not escape while he is in our custody. He will be turned over to a state correctional institution. I have every confidence that they will be able to safely and securely house him as well.
Lieutenant Colonel, was he in the perimeter of the perimeter that you had outlined yesterday? Was that?
He was.
He was.
Yes, sir.
How close to the edge of the perimeter was he? Where in the perimeter?
It was within the perimeter, and he would have been within a few hundred yards of the eastern edge of the perimeter.
Colonel, in terms of the public being involved, there was video surfacing of vigilantes in Chester County trying to get involved in this case. Moving forward, if something like this happens again, what would you tell the public in regards to getting involved in a case like this?
I would ask them the same thing that I asked this time, and that is, please don't come out and try to become involved like that. You potentially take away resources that would otherwise be spent on the search trying to deal with those individuals, and we don't want one of them to get hurt unintentionally.
How
Okay.
far was the capture from where the burglary happened last night?
Within a quarter mile.
Colonel, once processed,
It wasn't a burglary. It was an alarm, by the way. But
once processed, any idea even ballpark time until transfer?
it depends on whether he is cooperative and is interviewed. That could take minutes to hours, but I don't have the answer yet. Whether he's, I'm not aware of that.
Sir, do we know if his sister and mother entered the country via Puerto Rico as well?
I don't believe his mother is here, and I don't have that information immediately available here about where they entered. As I said, his sister, though, is in the process of being deported now.
We have time for 2 more questions.
Lieutenant Colonel, after everything that you've been through, seen with Cavalcante, once that interpreter is there, do you plan on having a conversation with him, asking him anything about all this?
No. The investigators are quite competent. They'll gather the information that we believe is important if they're able to, and I'm confident that everything we need will be gathered in that way. There's no reason for me to have a personal discussion with him.
What's your message to anybody else who tried to escape?
Well, I think it's a very bad idea, obviously, and we will be here should something like this occur again. We'll put the team back together, and we'll be right back out after them. Okay? Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody.
God almighty. His sister was here not legally right now, but his sister was here legally on a visa that expired, and she was like working and stuff. I just feel like I saw her Facebook. I mean, not that that says a whole lot, but I mean, it looks like she was living a normal life, unlike this dude. But I don't know. We'll see. I am actually going to end this here, you guys, because I am still exhausted. Oh, let me play that video, though, for you guys. That video of him. Hold on. Let's go to Twitter real quick. I want to see that video again of them cutting off his clothing. Because he was, you see his freaking back. I don't know where. Oh my God, my TV is so loud out there. I can hear myself talking. Right here.
Today.
We believe this is Danelo.
Yeah.
I mean, we have not had this confirmed, but there's been a heavy presence, as you see, around him. He's in handcuffs. They wiped off his face. It is clean shaven, and from the latest images that we have of Danelo, he did shave off his beard. But you can see he still has long hair, and it's still, dangling in his face there. But he has been in handcuffs, and it looked as if he was in an area where there was a lot of firewood. Or maybe a lumber yard or something, and they were moving him from that location, and now you can see they have the different vehicles where they're probably going to put him into a vehicle.
Yeah, when we were in the commercial break, you're right. He was standing in a big mound of like a cord after cord of Danelo Cavalcante in custody. Danelo Cavalcante in custody.
We believe this is Danelo.
Yeah.
I mean, we have not had this confirmed, but there's been a heavy presence,
that
as you
was
see,
loud.
around
Sorry
him. He's in
about that.
handcuffs. They wiped off his face. It is clean shaven.
Diana.
And from the
Yeah, I
latest
know, I
images
did
that we
too.
have of Danelo, he did shave off his beard. But you can see he still has long hair, and it's still, dangling in his
in
face
custody,
there. But
guys.
He
That's
has
all
been in
that
handcuffs,
matters.
and it looked
In
as if he was in
custody.
an area where there was a lot of firewood. Or maybe a lumber yard or something, and they were moving him from that location, and now you can see they have the different vehicles where they're probably going to put him into a vehicle.
Yeah, when we were in the commercial break, you're right. He was standing in a big mound of like a cord after cord of firewood. Because the initial report, we said that he was found on Bridge Street in Phoenixville, but this does not look like the main drag of Phoenixville. Obviously,
This isn't the
It
one
could
where
be
they
just
cut his
off the main
clothes, though.
drag of Bridge Street.
Look at the photo op. Look. Look. There's the doggos. There's the dog. Oh my gosh, I totally missed the photo op. I love this. Okay, I'm not going anywhere yet. I've got to see some of this footage. I love this. All right, I always make it too big because I'm blind as a bat. So here, let's get Danelo over here. Yes, Diana, it's horrible. I love it. Don't look at him as being any certain race, heritage, culture. Just look at him as a murderer. Look at him as the murderer that he is. And I guarantee you that will go away. Humiliating him. He humiliated the LE for 2 weeks. He humiliated LE for 2 weeks. And these guys train hard for what they do. And you know what? That's their game right there. That's their fucking, you see guys deer hunting? There you go. Seems odd. I think they do this every time. There he is. Uncalled for. Here, let's do a poll. Wow, people are split on this. I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked that you guys have a problem with that. Deer hunting? There you Okay, so the question is, do you think the photo op was appropriate? I'm so surprised you guys have a problem with it. Why do you not think it's called for? Like, the people that think it was not appropriate, let us know in chat why you don't think it's appropriate. What's inappropriate about it? Okay, so here's my thoughts on it. I feel like, okay, so like I knew somebody that went to Desert Storm, Operation Desert Storm, and they came back with pictures of dead Iraqi soldiers and their brains coming out. And that I found very fucking disturbing because it was just, from a human being standpoint, that's just not something that you should ever want to revisit. Like, it's bad enough you had to murder or, kill that guy in war. It's bad enough you had to see it, but to take pictures of it and then to come home and show people, that disturbed me. This is what they're trained to do. They're trained to apprehend these criminals, and they're trained to get them alive if they can. And they did. They got an armed maniac who was evading them and hiding and hurting residents alive. That's a celebration. They should be proud of what they just did. And yes, showing him is part of it. I mean, you guys are acting like, it's okay for men to hold up deer heads. Oh, look at this dead deer. I mean, he's alive. He's lucky that he's breathing and standing there. That's just how I feel. Like, if he was dead, that would be weird. But and plus, this was nationwide. Like, actually, this was global, and he made them look really dumb. So if they need to do this, and this is their way, I love it. I personally say my hat off to them and the doggos, and I'm glad that we got to see that. Humiliating him. I just don't even care about his feelings. Fuck his feelings. Why are we now sympathizing with criminals? Have you noticed this? This is really disturbing to me. Seeing how many people feel sorry for Brian Kohberger, think Brian Kohberger's innocent. Now this? Now we feel sorry for a man who murdered his ex-girlfriend in front of her kids. We feel sorry for someone like this? Why? Where have we gone wrong that we sympathize with someone who could do this? We hate Chris Watts. We hate all these guys for when they hurt children and hurt moms, but we're feeling sorry for someone who did the most heinous thing that anybody could ever do in front of children. Those kids will never be the same. They will never recover from this. They will always be different. The moment they saw the knife go in their mother, they were changed forever. They were changed forever. They are the victims here. They are the victims here. There's your video, Myron. I mean, we really just have to put this in perspective because it's easy to feel sorry for people when they have, you know, a life that maybe was rough or whatever. But lots of people have rough lives and they don't do heinous things like this. They don't do heinous things like this. Regina, thank you so much. We really just have to put it in perspective because if we lose focus of who the true victims are, we're really going to be messed up. No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with thinking it's odd. I mean, I've never seen a photo op like that either, but my first impression wasn't, "Oh, poor Danelo. He's being humiliated right now." You know what I mean? Look at his back, how muscular he is. I mean, they could be beating the shit out of him and they're not. And I get that, Ohana. Jay, feeling sorry for a murderer doesn't justify what they did. Right. I get that. And I am not against having empathy for people and their lives and what leads them down roads. But when that is the first thought as we watch a press conference is, oh, I feel sorry for the perp. When he's done something this heinous, I think we need to take a step back and wonder why we think that way. Why our brain immediately goes to feeling empathy for this perpetrator versus empathy for all the people he's hurt, for all the people that were affected by this, for the community he put through hell when he's not even supposed to be here. He wasn't even supposed to be here. He should have never been here in the first place to commit any crimes. So who does he think he is crawling around in the woods evading our law enforcement? I can't have empathy for that. It's awful. Like he should have never even been here. And you can blame Biden, you can blame politics. But isn't the bottom line accountability too? We put no accountability on the guy who decided to come here illegally and commit crimes. We want to blame our politicians. Now, yes, there is a problem. But can't we just look at his actions and his actions only? I would love to get her, Deborah's sister, on this podcast, and I would love to ask her what this road has been like for her. And then I would love to do a poll and ask how many people have sympathy for him. Yeah, here's the dogs, guys. There's the doggos. So it sounds like, from what they said, the dogs go for whatever is closest. So they could have gotten a hold of his damn head. And he said that they do not let go. So once the dogs cling onto him, once they latch on, they're not letting go and then grabbing him again. They're latching on and waiting for the officer. So I'm assuming that dog grabbed him on the head. And that's why that blood is dripping down from his head. But see, if he was beat up or he was traumatized, if he was like, beaten and all this stuff, then people would be saying, oh, it's brutality and da da da. Like, this is the best possible outcome for everyone. No one was hurt. No one was killed. He's alive. They did their job as they're supposed to do it. So no one in the public can go, oh my God, they used police brutality, blah, blah, blah. No, you're seeing it. They're not hiding it. We did our job. We're proud of it. And I love it. Props off. Props off to them. Once they secured that perimeter tight, they were in. They were in, and no one was in there. No distractions, no lights. Because we heard last night, they were like, you guys have your lights on? Because they knew this dude had a flashlight. So once he had a flashlight, they knew they had, that he could possibly use a flashlight. So there was a point last night where they were like, we saw a light over in the distance by Little's. And that could have been when he used a flashlight possibly to go into the shed. He crawled. And then they had all the cops on one road turn their headlights on and then turn them off. And then they went to Prizer Road, had them all turn their lights on and turn them off. And they were questioning whether it was the drone light. So they were really focused on lights and sounds, because then there was another false report. They thought there was gunshot, a single gunshot. And what it was, and this will give you an idea of how quiet it was out there and dark, was that a nut fell from a tree and hit the top of a police car. And they thought it was a single gunshot. That's how edgy and intense this was. So I feel like them getting rid of the outside noise was absolutely the best choice. And they should have done that at Longwood. I feel like if they would have done the same thing at Longwood, because remember, the chief said there was a weak spot in the Longwood perimeter, right? If they had secured that perimeter behind there and had a second perimeter where there was no outside noise, maybe he wouldn't have slipped through and got to Bailey's and was able to steal that van. But it worked out the way it worked out. And I don't know if they said that I don't think he shot at them. Because I think that if he would have shot at them, they would have shot back. So I feel like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, Felicia. I hope I'm saying your name right. Felissa. You were here last night. Felissa Phalange. She was here last night giving us updates, play-by-plays in the chat. Thank you so much. She said, I think people are new to watching true crime. Everybody is taught they are victims at school. Sympathy for the devil is fine, but sympathy for the families, cops, canine pups, and victims is the right thing. And I couldn't agree more. And we're all up in our feels these days. We are. Regina. Wait a minute. Is this messed up? Oh, Felicia Cortez. I'm sorry. I was reading this wrong. Felicia, I got this wrong. Thank you, Jay. He kept his face up, so DC was all for this picture. Yeah, I feel like he cooperated with the picture, actually. Kind of looks like he posed. And Regina Phalange, thank you. That was her who said that. Got those messed up. And then Regina also super chatted. She said, Jay, I don't get the love of BK in this jerk. No, I don't think Loki was there because Loki was recovering. Loki was the original dog that went out and he got overheated and he had to go to the hospital. He was dehydrated. So Loki was probably sitting it out because he was still recovering. It could have been so much worse. Tinkerboo sounded like he was crawling with the gun. It does. And I think that's how the dog got him by his hair. I feel like it was kind of a game to him. Like, I don't know. Because I think he thinks it's a joke. Oh, there's the top of his head, guys. There's the top of his head. Hold on. Oh, that dog got the top of his head good. Where'd that picture go? I might have to screenshot it because it's like a thumbnail. Hold on. Oh, it looks bad. It looks bad. That dog swung him by his scalp. This is exactly what I said too. I said, "Oh my god, I'd love to see them swing him around by his hair." And the dog actually did, guys. How's that for irony? Look at the top of his head. That had to freaking hurt. My brother called me. My sis, you watch and Jay, they fight him. I turned him onto your channel. Thank you so much, Felicia. Tell me if I'm saying your name wrong because I want to say it right. This is after they wiped his face. So his face was all bloody and then they wiped it. And then they took the picture. At least they didn't make him stand there with blood all over his face before the picture. They cleaned his face off. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do that. I know, over it. He's such a little thing. I'm sure the dog had no problem swinging him around. Like a rag doll. And you know what else is great? At least he didn't have an opportunity to shoot the dog while the dog had a hold of him. So at least he wasn't scalped. He's lucky he wasn't scalped by that dog because they clench on and they do not let go. And they are strong. I don't know if you've ever experienced a dog, like a big dog's jaws, especially trained dogs like that. Holy. When they're trained to not let go, they're not letting go. Let's see if there's any more videos. I'm not seeing any more. Thanks, Joel Berry. Hey, I want to thank everybody who toughed this out with me. I know that there's people that are boots on the ground, and I'm not boots on the ground, but I like to bring you guys, the latest that I can, and any kind of footage that we can find and things like that, and kind of be like a consolidator of everything that's going on. And I appreciate you guys sticking it out with me. There's the cutting of the clothes. I don't know why they cut the clothes. Maybe to see if he had any injuries. And he's handcuffed, so they cut him off. They probably have to check him out. Yeah, I'm not seeing any other videos, guys. Let's see. Oh, look it. This is for you, Miss Robin. Miss Robin, look. Someone made a meme. It says perimeter of Pee Wee Herman. Regina, thank you. People love dogs. I know a dog got hurt Monday night. You still feel bad for him? I think people get upset that the searches end or perps get caught. Maybe. Robin, I'm so glad you were here to see that. Thank you, Regina. Look at the dude in the black. I wonder who that is. You guys see the dude in the black? Wait for it to start again. Selena, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Crime solver. Those braids are a crime in itself. Lori M, thank you. Beth Sutherland, matching tattoos confirming no injuries, so he can't say he ran from prison because they beat me. It's looping. This video is looping. Look how big his boots are. Are those the same pants? Has he been wearing the same dang pants the whole time? They're huge. Look. Look at his feet. He's wearing like big rubber boots or something. Jammers. We did it. We did it. We did it. Yeah. I wonder if they're on the right feet though, Melmo. All right, let's see where we stand in the poll. Do you think the photo op with the officers was appropriate? 80% say yes, 20% say no. Interesting. I'm with the 80% though. I'm with the 80%. I don't know if those are the same prison pants he was wearing. It doesn't look like it to me. Did he get some pants somewhere? I can't tell. But I know them boots don't fit his feet. Muck boots, Flo. All right, guys. Well, we conclude our search for Danelo Cavalcante. I want to thank everybody who joined, followed, liked on Facebook. Facebook is blowing up. If you're not a part of our Facebook group, we have a Facebook group and a Facebook page. So make sure that you check us out over on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And we will see you in the next live, guys. We're going to have BK coming up tonight. So let me tell you how this is going to go before we sign off here. BK's hearing starts at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So what they're going to do is they're going to record it. And this hearing is going to be talking about whether they're going to allow cameras in the courtroom. So this is really important. This is really important because this is going to tell us if we're going to be able to hear it, see it, or nothing at all. So 5 p.m. He's in the hearing. God knows how long the hearing's going to be. The pool camera has to record the hearing and then upload it, and then we can see it. So it could be 8, 9, 10 o'clock before we get it. So we'll keep our eye on that and see when it comes out. I'm hoping and praying because, like, the defense, let's talk about this for just one quick second. The defense doesn't want him in there because they say they're focusing on Brian's fly. I don't think that's going to be a good reason for the judge. I don't think that's going to be a good reason for the judge. I think angles and rules can be put in place and they can still have cameras. I don't think the judge is going to go, oh, well, they're focusing on Brian's fly. Like, what kind of nonsense is that? Once a court hearing is aired, anybody has the right to go and screenshot something and zoom in on it. And all it was a normal person on Twitter zoomed in on it and made fun of him. I don't think that's going to be a valid reason. Secondly, prosecution is saying they don't want him in there because of the sensitivity of the witnesses. When has that ever flown? Because there's ways to work around that too. We've seen witnesses testify in court and they don't show them. When we watched Letitia Stauch, there were witnesses who testified. I think it was Letitia, and they just don't show them. You just hear them. So they take the camera off of them during their testimony. It's simple. It's simple. So I feel like there's ways they can work around it because we've seen it happen, you know? So I feel like the witness thing, yes, it's valid. And yes, I think they can work around it. I think they can give the girls, the witnesses, privacy by not showing them and maybe just using the audio. So it'll be an interesting hearing, in my opinion. I think that there's some room for, maybe the judge will say, okay, audio only. You know what I mean? Maybe audio only, like we got in Daybell. So I don't think it's going to be, I don't think just because they're both saying, yeah, we want them thrown out, that they're going to get it. Because there's still that right of the public to know. I mean, the defense and the prosecution definitely matter, but then there's also the right of the public to know. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, especially when you compare it to what happened with Daybell's. So I'm personally really excited to see what happens with this because I think that Judge can actually make it where everyone is satisfied. Maybe not happy, but satisfied. So I'm hoping for that. And make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're following on Facebook for any further updates. I agree with you, Suzanne. Yeah, I think the prosecutor just put that out to remind people literally at stake here. I think the prosecution is trying to get in their messages now as well. Yes, there's details in the however that saying goes. Raggedy Ann, I'm so glad you're here. Raggedy Ann, your community is safe to move about. He is captured, he's in their custody, and you can move about. No more sweepstake calls. I'm so happy for this community. Pennsylvania, we love you. And I hope to one day visit that area because it looks absolutely gorgeous. I want to go to Bailey's Dairy Farm. I want to have some corn. Oh my gosh, we have a birthday. Is this Panani's birthday still? This is her second birthday wish from me, I think. I'm confused. We had so many birthdays this week. I'm sorry, I'm out of it. But
niggas wife me once they get that good punani.
Go shorty, it's your birthday.
happiest of birthdays. Oh, yesterday. Well, someone's birthday's today. We had someone who was a birthday girl today. Justice for the victims, and we love you, Pennsylvania. Go live your lives, people. I will see you guys tonight, hopefully, with BK. Let's roll the credits. I love you guys. Be sure to check out my other videos and playlists for more true crime content. And if that's not enough, you can join our Patreon. Don't have a tinfoil hat? It's okay. We'll make you one. It's that easy. See you guys in the next video.
See you later. Bye.
Here's your song, Punani. Get it, girl.
And niggas wife me once they get that good punani. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn.
I flashed and said, wow, pretty far out. I thought it was pretty far out.
Feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to France, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time for donuts. I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs.
Just based on my observations, her hair was very greasy.
One Jennifer or two Jennifer?
Thanks so much, Jennifer.
Bye, Jennifer.